Hi everyone, Preeta here from Bug, Bharat Udyog Gaurav. Good to see you all. For all those who don't know, Bharat Udyog Gaurav is on a mission to create 1 million digital footprint for MSMEs and entrepreneurs. Here we are today with a very, very inspiring woman. And I think I have her here. Just getting Ilika, our guest for today, online with us. Hi, Andre. Hi, Mr. Soni. Hi, Ilika. I'm just getting you on with us. Who else do we have here? Ferosha. Hello. Hmm. Let me try getting Ilika live. Hello, hello. And here we go.
Hey Preeta.
Hi, Ilika. Good to see you.
Same here. I'm audible, right?
Yes, you are audible.
Okay.
I'm just going to make sure. Yes. Superb. Nice to see you. I think I made you run from office for this. And I'm glad you
Yes.
did. You did manage to find the time. For all those of you who don't know, Ilika is this fascinating woman, and if you hear all the things that she does in a day, you'll be amazed. And we are very, very lucky to have her here today. Okay, she manages a cat as well on the side. So here, our theme for
Yes.
today is grit and
Good.
grace, the woman of substance. And we aptly present our guest for today, Ilika Bhattacharya. So to introduce her, brought up in Dubai, Ilika studied and worked there before moving to Mumbai. She's worked for Citibank, Star TV, L'Oreal, Triangles, and currently she's the digital program manager of Rupee Boss Financial Services. A mother of two adorable sons. I've met them, they're really cute. She's also a passionate baker who's currently pursuing a global MBA from Liverpool Business School. Wow. So Ilika, how I don't know how you're managing it all. It's amazing. But let's start with Dubai. Dubai to Mumbai, your experience of living in two totally different city, actually a country shift. How was it? How was the transition? Or what has been the difference or the similarities?
Well, I moved to India permanently in 2016. So, and I've been in Dubai from 1989 till then. So it was, I think in 2016,
15,
it was
17
quite
years.
a bit of a change. Although, I mean, India wasn't strange for me. We came here every year for vacations. But still, I think being here on vacation and moving, permanently,
Is
it's falls apart. Yeah, a
how is
lot
it
of
falling apart?
things. It was completely different for me. I don't know, strangely, although I knew everything, I knew everyone from childhood, it was still strange. It was still new for me, and I think that kept me frustrated for quite some time. This really strange feeling that I do know things, I do know everybody, but I'm still not able to adjust. It's still new for me. How can that be possible? But it is, and everything was. So if I have to compare Mumbai as it is now, or okay, maybe not now, but 5 years ago, somewhere from 5 years till now is honestly what my life was. when I got married and I came here, if not before. So I'm saying everything: technology, lifestyle, food, everything. So it was a big change.
Yeah. I completely get you. I mean, I moved from Muscat to India and I was just shocked
We're
at the
both
difference.
buddies.
Yeah, on one hand, people were so professional and formal there, and then suddenly you come here and everyone's like very that local feel. And I was like, ooh, is that how you usually
Yes, yes.
talk? So it was very
Yes.
startling also for me. So I completely get you. It can, I loved it though, but yes, I know people who it can really frustrate. And Mumbai is a heavy, like, I mean, it's a city that doesn't sleep. So, you know as compared to Dubai where it's like luxurious and you have your space and time. So I can imagine.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, from a marketing assistant to a digital program
Hmm.
manager today, what has the journey been like?
Hmm.
It's been about a career of about what now? 15, 17 years?
Yes, yes. In fact, I mean, I started working in Dubai. I was working there for 2 years and then I moved to Mumbai. So it's a little more than that. But yeah, it's been a roller coaster ride, lots of ups and downs, and a lot of learnings. And yeah, very, very interesting, very different. A lot of things. I mean, I think it's taught me a lot. And as you know, I've done a lot of different things. So it's been, I'd say, a journey of learning actually.
Good. And did marriage change your career growth? What was the difference between your career before marriage or after, or did it not make any difference?
Uh, Honestly, because the move to India happened because of marriage. So I don't have a yardstick for how my life would have been before marriage here while I worked. That working in Mumbai or India happened only after getting married. So I can't compare that. But I mean, just like I think any married woman would agree with me. There's life changes once you get married. Obviously you're responsible for yourself majorly after getting married. So that change was there. I think coupled with a change in countries and places, it kind of amplified it for me. But I don't think
That was like a huge
marriage really
change.
affected as much. Sorry.
That was a huge change, but countries and
It is.
jobs
Yes.
and like it was
I
like a
think it's
huge
just
shift.
it's been so many. Yeah, well, it's been so many years. Actually, I'm trying to think back. A lot more has happened now. I feel ever since the kids have happened that I feel like maybe what I felt like, oh my God, what's happening in my life does not compare to now. So yeah. So,
I know, but have you at any
but
point of
yes.
time felt overwhelmed?
Yes, 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 very often, very often. I mean, uh, I think for me, what happened is it might not be the same with other people from the Gulf that I know, but especially for me, what happened was that when I moved to India, uh, I had done my college in Mumbai itself. So by then, my
Oh,
friends who were in India had incidentally moved abroad. And none of my friends from the Gulf were in India. So it was difficult. So you do have your girl tribe, and you do have your friends, and I've been lucky and blessed to have wonderful friends whoever I have met. But I did, yes, I it was really overwhelming to not have anybody else mirror your experience and go like, oh yeah, I'm going through the same thing. There was nobody around. So yes, I did feel isolated and a little overwhelmed.
My, that sounds, I mean, I can imagine. So you're pretty
Yeah, you know,
organized
you're
from
from
what
Mumbai.
I know. I know you personally, and you run your
Yeah.
house like clockwork. You run. I've seen your fridge with like instructions for the kids, and everybody knows what they're supposed to
I
do.
try.
And your
I
work is like
try.
prompt. You try? Yeah, yeah. So that's the kid's fault, not yours. So yeah. So yeah. So your house, your work, your kids' routine, and now your studies as well, and your passion. And how do you manage it all? Like, how do you manage to keep it in hold?
I don't know. Honestly, I think most days I'm asking myself, how am I doing it? What are you doing? How are you doing it? But I think it's just you have to be organized. You have to know what you're going to do. So I try to be as organized as possible. And by organized, I mean by I have a schedule for myself. If I don't stick to it, it's not going to happen. And that's for
That's true.
me. It can't work. So what I do is for myself, and if I'm not going to follow that schedule for myself, then yes, obviously it's going to affect the other people in my house, especially the dependents who are my kids. So I obviously I wasn't studying, and obviously I wasn't working the way I'm working right now. Some time back. So I guess my goals for myself, or rather the kind of routine that I need to follow, keeps changing, and sometimes it gets really tiring. But I like there's no other way. You just stick to it. You decide, and I guess it's a trial and error. And one day you will figure out that okay, great, this
If
is working out.
it
So
works,
yeah, and some days it's not going to work out. In fact, if I have to tell you, at least once a week, it's I mean, there's no better word for
no.
it. It's a shit show, really. Once a week at least. So
Yeah, it
earlier
must
it
be just
used to
all
yeah,
over, right?
uh, yeah, earlier it used to overwhelm me, but I think I am. In fact, not I think. I'm glad that I have reached this stage where I know to expect it. So I don't know when it's going to happen, but by now I know that at least once a week it's going to happen. So when it happens, I'm going to react. I'm going to feel bad. I'm going to question my decisions. But it's somewhere at the back of my mind, I tell myself, you knew what was going to let it pass, and then just move on. So that's how I'm doing it, and
That's so
it's I guess
amazing. You
working.
are mentally prepared for the worst. I mean, that's brilliant.
It's not come easy. I think it's taken quite a few years.
I'm sure. I'm sure. So, you've been working from 2004, if I'm not wrong. Yeah, you've been working from 2004. So, women at the
Yeah.
workplace, I want to come to that now. Women at the workplace around that time, 2004 or so, and women at the workplace today, do you see a difference
Hmm.
or do you feel a difference?
Uh, yes, I do. I do, and I don't as well. But I think I would stick to I do more because it's been quite a few years. And generally, my working stint has been longer in Mumbai. So I'll talk about that because when I worked in Dubai, I was, I was I mean, I was, I was a new person, right? So I was a new joinee in most of the places, new entrant, and I was much younger. Life goals were different. Many things were different. So I don't think it affected me, or I even actually noticed much then. But I think marriage changed a lot. Uh, so what I wanted out of my job or my work or my career was different for after I got married, right? And then it changed with all of the milestones that I have crossed in my life as a mother, as I mean, and in fact, as in how my kids have grown. So uh, I very specifically remember this time in my life when I was newly married then. So, I was young and we were a young couple. Our priorities were very different. But my colleagues, when I was working in L'Oreal, were all about 5 or 6 years older to me. So, around the same time that I had children, they were there then. And I was 5, 6 years junior. So I wasn't even thinking about it. But so I kind of, got this spectator view of what their life was then and what their struggles were, how they dealt with being married, running a house, dealing with parents-in-law, then having children. Before that, going through pregnancy, having a spouse, all of those things. And I, I'm glad that I got to see that as a spectator. So when I compare my experience to what I see now versus then, there is a very big difference, very big, because I really I think I made the decision to discontinue working a full-time job in corporate. So I left my work in L'Oreal for no other reason but only because I was going the family way. So I was expecting my first baby, and having experienced secondhand all the challenges that my colleagues and my friends had experienced, I didn't think I had the strength in me to go through it. Simply telling you that now I think the maternity leave is somewhere between 6 to 9 months. I'm not sure. I think it is about some places have 6 months, some have 9 months. Some I think, there's paternity leave. There was nothing like paternity leave, and at the time when I was pregnant with my first baby, the maternity leave was the official maternity leave was 3 months. So, and luckily what happened is that there was a tribe of, just that's it, 3 months. And luckily I had a tribe of these wonderful women in L'Oreal, and somehow coincidentally we were expecting our babies, about 15-20 days apart from each other. So that was wonderful. I had that kind of a group and support. But as and when we were all in our second trimester, third, so I was towards the end, so I left in my second trimester. But some of them had already reached their last, and you have to apply for maternity, and everyone is thinking and planning what you have to do. So with the 3 months maternity leave, there have been conversations where, where everyone's discussing, what are you going to do about your maternity leave? What are you going to do after 3 months? So conversations were like, I have a great relationship with my boss. I am going to try and extend it as much as possible to 6 months. I did not have the heart to, leave a 3, 4, or even 6-month-old infant at home or with my in-laws or my parents or anybody else. I just could not think about it, which is why I decided to take a break. The other and and a lot of other things. So couple of years down the line, when I did visit my I visited my colleagues from L'Oreal. They had changed their entire way of working and the infrastructure, and I think corporates at the level of L'Oreal now have creches in the building itself. So if you have a little baby, you can get them. It wasn't there. So I remember them telling me,
so
you should just come back.
So nice.
Yeah, it is. And I looked at it and I said, wow, I want to join back but then I realized that hardly, a year or so, and my children will, I mean, not, I didn't have children then, but my older son, he would have to start school. So, how is it going to work out? So, that's just one example. There's so many other things and many other policies that have come into place now, which have, which I feel are so much more different than when I was working that time. So it's much better. So now when
Very
I'm
true.
working, yeah, it's a different experience.
Very true. And you have been baking in between. I mean, you took up a course and you baked, and I think you pursued it as an entrepreneur as well. That's amazing. Tell us
I
more
did. Yeah.
about that. Like, what was the thought? Did you intend to pursue a career out of it, or was it just something you loved doing? And what do you bake? Cakes?
I baked, yes, mostly cakes, but when I left L'Oreal, I went on a freelance slash entrepreneurial journey for about 6 years, and
Okay.
in that time, obviously I did take time to spend take my time with the baby, recover and get myself back, and do a little bit of work initially. And then once my children were going to daycare, or at least nursery, I really did feel that there's something. What do I do now? I want to go back to work, but I don't know if I'm ready to go back to work where I leave at say 7 in the morning and get back at 8 9. Um,
Yeah.
and another one of the things that you said, what is different is I'm not really sure what it is right now. But at least my experience was that when I had to get back to work, I couldn't find a creche or a daycare that ran in sync with office timings. So usually daycares, I think they shut by 6:30 or so, 6:37. I was never going to come back by then. So, wondering what is it that I really want to pursue? And baking has something, I mean, is something that I have always been interested. So it's something to do, everyone has childhood memories, and I have this wonderful aunt who bakes so well from my childhood, and everybody loves her cakes, and she's known for it, right? And there's this one memory that's etched in my head, where when I was in Dubai, we were part of this community club, and they would have these different events and picnics and whatnot. So I think in the first few years only, maybe the first to second year that I moved to Dubai, there was a fun fair, and there was a stand that a stall that my all these other aunties they ran. And this particular auntie, Aarti auntie, she and my mom, they did cupcakes, right? That time in 1991, with this colorful frosting and all, and I just can't get that memory out of my head. I was like, I want to do this one day. I want to do this one day. So the moment I could do it, I did it. I started baking the moment I was at home. I got a convection microwave and I started with my kids. So I would bake their, birthday cakes, and I did a cupcake. I'm obsessed with cupcakes. So I did my older son's first birthday as a cupcake themed party. I loved it. I don't know if others did, but it was great. And yeah, and luckily, I think we're lucky that we have Master Chef and all of those things. I mean, that level,
Yeah.
kind of cooking
Yeah.
happening. Yeah.
Yeah.
So when I was thinking about, do I go back to corporate work, or do I really want to pursue something that I'm passionate about? What is it that I want to? Because there's so many things that I love to do. but baking was something that I felt I could do really well, and I wanted to try it. So I actually studied it. I didn't do any one of those short courses or something. I really wanted to do it, and
You
I made up my mind. I did my research, and so I studied professional pastry because I'm one of those crazy people. If I get something in my head, then I can't get it out. So I was like, I want to be known as a chef. You can only be known as a chef,
wow.
if you do professional stuff. So I studied professional
But that's
pastry. So
right. I
I
mean, if
have
you're
a
learning, you
diploma.
might as well learn it all out. Is
Yeah, yeah.
that why you? Is
So
that
I
why
I
you're
went to
doing your
college.
MBA?
For a year.
You're doing your MBA now?
Sorry, I can't
Is
hear
that
you.
why you're doing your MBA now? Because you're like, no, I have to like do this full fledged. Because an MBA is a
Yes,
long. It's what? It's 2 years of commitment. I'm guessing.
yes, it is. It is. Yes.
Yes, and I can't imagine you coming back and having, at the end of the day, having to sit back and study. My God, that is like a huge
No,
commitment.
I don't do that.
So,
I No, I don't do. I'm not an evening person at all. I learned this the hard way. Uh, I felt like, I'm sure many people have this thing and they've done it where let's do group study. Let's study together.
uh,
Oh my God,
together.
that
I
bombed
can't for
me
the life
so
of me
badly.
study with somebody else.
And I just could not, even at that age, I'm telling you, I'm talking about 13, 14, where I was like, oh my God, I'm going to fail if I do this because nothing is going in my head. And I don't know if it was, the group scenario, or was it evening, because it's never going to happen in the morning, right? I used to go to school at I used to leave home at 6:45. So there was like, no, you can't do that in the morning. And at our times, there was no internet, and nobody was doing it at that level. So
Yeah.
I just figured out the hard way that I have to wake up in the morning. I am just cursed for my life. It's always going to be an early morning for me, no matter what. So, yeah, when I was taking this decision, I didn't have a lot of time to say yes or no for the admission, to go ahead with it. But this was the biggest question. How am I going to study? When am I going to study? I'm already working, and I already have a jam-packed day. So that's it. I mean, it's in the morning. It's before everything else happens. So now I wake up even earlier and I study, and then my day starts.
Like they say, the morning. Okay, so your kids, okay, I'm sure you
Yeah.
understand your kids now and where they're coming from with all the studies. So, with kids, what happens is, I know, yes, we have fun with them and great, but we are building the future with our kids. They are the
Yeah.
future. How we set an example to them, and, they eventually 10 years, 15 years, 20 years down the line, they will impact
Yeah.
so many people with their upbringing. So how have you managed
Yeah.
to control or, imbibe? What are the values that you try to imbibe in them, and or that you're proud of imbibing in them?
I think um, they're quite well exposed, and so I have a mixed marriage, right? I'm a Maharashtrian. I'm married to a Bengali. So our house is a multilingual. It's not even a bilingual house. It's a multilingual house. So at any time there are, I think, four languages happening. There's English, Hindi, Marathi, and uh, Sylheti, which is my husband's language, happening at the same time. So in a conversation, we're switching. It's not like my kids. So let me talk about my kids and not me, but they will not have to, speak a particular thing to one person and then repeat it for the other person. They know. So whoever they're addressing, they will speak in that language. So they'll speak to me in Marathi. They will switch to English, Hindi in between. They can, if the grandparents are around, they can easily switch this in the same conversation to Sylheti. So there's Sylheti, Marathi, everything happening. And thanks to Dora the Explorer, they were doing very well in Spanish. And now both of them will soon be, I mean, one of them already learns French. The other one will soon start French. They've learned Hindi. So so, you know, that way I feel like because of my, and this I'm seeing in comparison to the rest of the people who they spend their time with, they do stand apart, and I'm happy about it because I feel that my experience of growing up abroad in a different country, in a different culture. So my school had people from all over the place. So we had people from India, we had people from all kinds of Arabic countries. We had, I remember there was a girl from, Russia also in my class. There was someone from Thailand also. I can't name all of them, but so that's how we grew up. And the neighbors who we had, the people who we met in supermarkets or something. You would know it. The experience is different. It's not that I'm Gujarati, I'm Sindhi, I'm Marathi, or I'm whatever, which is, in India, because we're in India, obviously. When you are
We're in India.
an
Out there, you're just
immigrant,
Indian.
yeah, you're just Indian, yeah. So you're Indian. You're Indian.
Yeah.
I'm Arab. I'm American. I'm I'm
Well,
Thai. I'm
yeah.
Chinese. Yeah. So I can't. I mean, I can't, and I don't want to switch that off in me. So I'm glad that that part of exposure with everything. So that comes with language, that comes with lifestyle, that comes with the culture, that comes with the history. It comes with everything that I can give my children. And so I'm really glad. And they have very, very easily picked that up. Or they don't. I'm really glad that, they don't. I hope that they don't. I don't think they do feel so very different, or rather alienated, in the negative way from the rest of their friends. For them, I think it's more like a bonus. So I'm really happy about it.
So an offhand question, your husband's a director. I mean, he directs ads and films and, things like that. So, of course, he has a very, very random schedule. And
Yes.
someone has to balance it. I'm assuming you're balancing it. So how does that usually work at home? Do you switch, like, today you do this, today I'll do this? Or is it, is there like a structure to that? How do you divide stuff between yourselves? Work, home?
I think, so I don't, I mean, okay, this is going to maybe sound weird, I don't know, but I have COVID to, the COVID lockdown and the entire chaos to thank for a little bit of routine in this aspect. Because prior to that, it was extremely random. And I think if there was any balancing that was needed to be done was happening mostly from my end, because you can't do anything. He can't do anything about his shoots. He can't do anything about his meeting. It has to happen, right? I think when COVID happened, obviously everybody was forced to be at home. I'm sure a lot of people, whatever they say, they loved spending that time at home. There was no running for work. There was no, random calls. And even if they were happening, I think they were welcome because nobody was getting to step out or have any kind of contact with anybody.
Yeah, and we realized we could survive without traveling.
Yes, you could survive without traveling. You could survive by being in a routine, you could survive. And in fact, it was a great experience, and I think a much needed experience where I think most men would feel that way. I feel that they actually got time to spend with their families, with their children, who I don't think that they were really getting to, pre-COVID. And I don't know, I might be wrong, but I don't feel it's as bad as it was pre-COVID, because there's a completely new outlook towards life with in most of the people. So post-COVID, I think there's more of a balance. There's more involvement from my husband, and now that I work, and we had a lot of sudden changes that happened after COVID in our life. So we had a change of school, I had a change of work, so many things to adjust to. Currently, there is so much more balancing going on from my husband's end. So I would say it's nearly 50-50 now, because there's one child who goes in the morning and there's another child going in the afternoon. So initially we struggled a lot, and I was really stressed out about how we're going to manage, because it was new for him also, right? It's as simple. It's not about I'm the woman or he's the man or something. It's just something he's not primarily handled before. So how are we going to adjust to that? And for me, it was more about letting go and trusting the process and saying it's okay if it's not the same thing, as long as it is that which needs to be done. It doesn't matter, and the kids are not going to. I was like, okay, let me observe. And they were okay. So, but yes, there were a few hiccups and, everything, but everything was fine. And yeah, he does a lot more now. And I don't think it would be possible, not as a woman only, right? Just as a partner, as a spouse. I think it's really important. You can't, what's important is enabling the other person. So just, saying that, I'm sure, what I feel is, when people ask, how do you manage? I think it's quite rampant that, most people, whether it is your family, your parents, or it's your spouse or your in-laws, or whatever it is, they're most of them are they're supportive, right? They're supportive by thoughts, or if it's your employer or whoever it is. What I feel is, it's not going to work out till you enable the other person. So I think that's something it's taken working on.
You have to give them that opportunity and space and trust. Yeah.
No, I mean, not only that, but, see, if I tell you that, look, I support you. You can work, you can follow your passions or your hobbies or whatever. Saying that is different from actually making it possible for the other person to be able to do it. And making it possible would mean different for different people. So maybe the person who needs to, we all have 24 hours and we all have responsibilities and other, important things in life. So how do you juggle it? One person can't do everything, right? You can't say that, I have my bucket full already, but I also want to do, and those are my responsibilities and all of the important things that have to be done. And then I want to pursue my hobbies, or then I want to pursue a career, or I want to study, or anything. How is that going to work? It's like pouring a glass of water in a full bucket, right? It's all going to spill out. It's not going to work out. So you have to you have to take some of it out, and you have to make space for that new thing to come into that other person's life, which probably for Some people might be taking up more responsibility at home, or changing your routine, or changing your priorities. So yeah, so I think we've just figured out how to make it work for us.
That's brilliant. So to end with a fun question, what's your guilty pleasure when you get that little time off to yourself?
What's my guilty pleasure? I love spending time by myself doing nothing. Really, that's my
Nothing.
guilty pleasure.
Nothing.
I
Just
feel
a
like,
blank.
yeah, really. So, I love my friends and I love everybody, but I just feel like, and yes, I'm a little weird that way, but I just feel like, I'm doing so much all the time, and
Yeah.
I just want to be by myself for, a little bit. And when I'm done, I'm ready to meet everyone again. So I love spending time by myself, and probably read
Yeah.
a little bit or do something. I mean, really, like when I tell somebody, what do you do, and they're like, what? Like that's not even. So I say, no, that's fine. I love doing it.
Brilliant, brilliant. And if you had to like change something for women today, like, or you would want to see one change happening for women today, what do you think it would be?
I mean, are you asking work wise or how?
In any way, at work or at home or in life, or how would they think, or how people react to them, or whatever. One change that you would wish would happen for women, that you think would make life nicer.
I think I'm going to try to keep this as short as possible, but you know, nobody can deny that the women in our lives, right? The mom or the wife or whoever. Mostly, it's these figures. They are the central character in everyone's story because they are the backbone of the household. They are the backbone of most people's life or the support system. So, um, whether the woman is working or not working, I really feel that with we have a lot of these welcome policies that have come, like we spoke about the maternity leave, and we have sick leaves and everything, whatever. There are quite a few newer things that have come in. There's paternity leave and all that. But as a whatever I have experienced when I wasn't full time working or when I was freelancing, and now, and my experience as a parent, as a wife, um, even as a daughter, I feel like there needs to be, at really like policy changes at the ministry level, and as well as every, at the entity level, like employer level, because whatever changes are there, I feel like the very satellite changes, they kind of don't make sense, but I mean, they're a welcome change, but they kind of don't make sense. For example, I'll give you all the parents, right? Uh, they're they're all. It's such a disconnect because the time. Why would you want? What are we working for? We're working for a great life. Why do we have children? Shouldn't we be encouraging parents to spend more time with their kids, or spouses to spend more time with each other because we value relationships, etc. So why can't something as simple as school timings uh, in our country don't match office timings? So how are you going to have stress-free, happy employees coming into work every day? One small, it starts raining, schools are shut, everyone's wondering where are we going to keep our kids? They're going to be at home, and it's a domino effect, and you're just worrying the entire time. You have sick children, your school holidays don't match PTM timings, don't
They don't
match, they
match.
don't support working culture at all, right? You don't have
You're right.
PTMs in the evening.
Schools ending at 2:30 p.m. have always shocked me. And I'm like, who is going to pick up the kid? How do you manage that?
No, there's nobody. There's nobody. So, and uh, it's something, I feel like it's something to question, right? Probably people, I mean, policymakers are going to be like, but we've never said anything. You have your 24 days of leave, but first of all, are they even enough? Secondly, if I could go on this, but you just ask yourself one question: if your employee is uncomfortable, and this is anybody, okay, at any level, big company, small company, whatever it is uncomfortable and questioning himself or herself, should I even take this leave? Should I do this today? There should be, I feel like, it should not be a question. If from the organization and from the policymakers, if there is a structure put in place already, there is a plan B, that if something happens, yes, you can be at home, you can work from home, you can, make alternate plans, and you're not going to be judged for it. I think you will have so much more productive employees and so many happy employees. Okay, and
True.
everybody's problem right over. So I feel like it's a much needed change. I don't know why it has not happened till now. It's very strange. I keep wondering, like, you know has it never occurred to anybody who is, so it's as simple as this: if you have to work, you have to either be living in joint families, or if you're a nuclear family, you are either disrupting your own parents or your own in-laws from their lives and getting them to stay with you, or you have to hire help, which might not be everyone's cup of tea.
Cup of tea.
So, who's taking care of the children, or who's taking care of ill family members? Are you making it
True.
possible?
True.
It's, it's
The
there,
work
but it's not.
culture and yeah, the work culture and the
Yeah.
responsibilities at home, for some reason, just don't match. So yeah, I completely get that. But in
Mhm.
spite of it, you have pursued it, and we are so proud of you, Ilika. You've really, literally, in all simple terms, done it all and still doing it all. So thank you so much for being here.
You're
To
too kind.
everyone here,
I'm trying. I try.
I love having this conversation with you, Ilika. It's amazing how you do it. And you know
Thank
what's
you.
so amazing is you've always been financially independent. And I think that's a great lesson to give your kids who are, like we said, the future of India, that every woman needs to be independent in spite of everything. And, we can do it all. So to the superwoman, Ilika, good to have had you here today. And thank you so much. Thank you so much for taking time out for us.
Thank you, Preeta, and thank you to the Bug family for having me on. Thank you.
Thank you. See you, everybody. I hope you had a good evening. We'll see you around soon every Wednesday with another Bug Naari. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.